At this, we're done. No, we're done. Mr. Mendoza, turn around. You can say whatever you want, but you're going to face me and you're going to get your sentence. And if at this time I could give you more, I would, I promise you, but I can't. If you don't like the whole situation, hang on, don't overtalk me. Now it's just the time to listen.
Do I get a new bond today?
I'm not giving you a bond because you couldn't act right while you were on bond, which shows me that, no, that means I'm going to revoke your bond. You're going to jail regardless. You put a gun to somebody's head. We're lucky you haven't killed somebody because that's the path you're on. And Mr. Jackson, you were previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to the second-degree felony offense of engaging in organized criminal activity. I've received the pre-sentence report as well as incident reports from the Jefferson County Jail. Has everyone had an opportunity to review all of that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are there any additions or corrections?
No, Your Honor.
Judge, I'm sure the court would like Mr. Jackson to take a little bit more responsibility for what he did in his version, and I would also assume that his next comments are going to be the talking to that everybody else in the jail is going through.
Mr. Jackson, I've got 16 pages of jail incident reports. Each page holds 2 to 4. Do the math on that, and that's a lot of you being exceptionally disrespectful to the officers that are there. And so what I'm wondering is why you think, I mean, since you entered your plea in this case, you were caught with a shank, 2 different types of shanks, and you've been fighting? Huh? You can speak where I can understand you first. Speak up. What do you want to say?
I was talking to the guard, I was talking to the tenant. I was trying to talk to him and get that thrown knife. They ain't find it on me.
No, they found it in your bed.
Oh, it wasn't.
Okay. What about the other 16 pages? What about telling the officers, I don't have to do shit? What about telling the officers, I don't give a F about none of that? What about that? Is that you? Over and over and over? If you don't give a shit, then why should we? Do you understand what I'm saying? You want to spend your life in prison? Because that's what you're asking for. It's no behavior for me to go, oh, let's just put him on probation. It'll be great. He's going to follow the rules. You can't even follow the rules when you're locked up. What makes me think you're going to follow them when you're out? I mean, the agreement that y'all have reached based on what I understand is very little criminal history, mostly because you're young and you haven't had time to do a whole lot. What is the status of the Harden County cases? Do we know?
Yes, Your Honor. They're waiting for us to resolve these cases, and then they'll be next in line.
Okay.
When we come to court, after we leave, I always inform them what we're doing, so they're aware.
Okay.
Judge, that kind of goes to the notion of, obviously, we were going to request if the court is in agreement with the following plea, ISF, that he cannot do with those pending. So our understanding and our agreement was for ISF with the understanding that he would dispose of those cases very timely so that he can then go to ISF if that's what this court orders.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do, Mr. Jackson, and the rest is going to be up to you, okay? I'm going to follow the agreement that you made with the district attorney. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to defer all proceedings for a period of 7 years. You will be ordered to pay a $500 fine. You will be ordered to enter and successfully complete the cognitive track of the ISF program. That is a whole program, especially for you young people, to hopefully help you to make better decisions. But here's the thing about ISF. You're going to go to Harden County from here, take care of those cases, and when you do get to ISF, 1 incident report is a violation of your probation. 0 tolerance. So you're going to have to prove to me while you're waiting in jail. In addition, while you're waiting in jail to go to Harden County, if I find out you misbehave in Harden County, Any of those things are going to be violations of your probation. Do you understand? A condition of your probation is going to be that you follow the rules in our jail, in Harden County Jail, and in ISF. Whatever those rules are. It's not going to be cussing at and calling names to the correctional officers who are just there doing their job. It's not going to be fighting. It's not going to be hiding things in your whatever. You understand? Because you may never see the light of day. You're going to be right back in here on a motion to revoke your probation. And because this is a second-degree felony, if you are back in here, the range of punishment, if I find that you violated your probation, is minimum 2 up to 20 years in prison. You understand that? Okay. If you take advantage of this opportunity and change the way you're acting, and are you successful on this probation, this is your chance of a lifetime today, because you do not have a conviction on your record. You're not a convicted felon. And at the end of the probation period, if you're successful, the case gets dismissed. You'll never be a convicted felon. The other side, again, though, one hiccup. You're on 0 tolerance from the beginning on this. You're back in here with the motion to revoke and going to prison. Do you understand? A condition of your probation also, if it's not in here, is going to be that you are not allowed to be in the possession of or around any firearm. So if there are firearms in your house where you're living that aren't yours, they have to be locked up, or you are not allowed to have them. You're not allowed to have a firearm, period. Do you understand? Okay.
And Your Honor, just for the record, we do believe that he'll be able to make this probation and won't be back here. His family is here. They've always been here, so they're
Good.
ready to support him with whatever he needs to make sure that he makes it over the hump.
I hope so. I'm glad that they're here. And here's the thing. You probably don't like their rules either. Guessing from how you're acting, I don't think you like anybody telling you what to do. But at this point in your life, until you get off this probation, there's going to be a bunch of people telling you what to do. And you're just going to have to take that because you're the one who engaged in this behavior. Right? So grow up, take responsibility. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Pretty good.
So you're Corbin Rayleigh?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Rayleigh, you were here just last week or the week before,
Yes, ma'am.
and you pled guilty to an offense, and you were told to go to the probation department and do a pre-sentence report.
Yes, ma'am.
And I've gotten a memo from them that has some unfortunate information in here about how you acted while you were there and visiting with them.
Yes, ma'am. I was over the phone when the lady was arguing and stuff. I just wanted the information on when I was supposed to meet the dude. That was it. And
That's not how this reads.
they
They were so frustrated with you that they said they will not do a pre-sentence report while you're on bond. So do you know what that means?
my bond had to be paid off.
No, that means I'm going to revoke your bond
Okay.
and you're going to go to jail.
Okay.
And then they're going to come to the jail and do the pre-sentence report. And you're going to be respectful to them, or I don't have to go along with this plea agreement.
Yes, ma'am.
So listen, it's time to get a whole different attitude about all of this. I understand. I remember now when you were here, you don't like the whole situation.
No,
Hang on, don't overtalk me, because that's going to show me what you're doing to them. Okay. Now it's just the time to listen.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And just do what you're told. There's not an excuse for what you did. You didn't just try to ask for some information. Okay. They wouldn't have sent this. They're very, very patient.
I just want to let you know I got a whole different view about it on the whole situation now too. I just got to meet my son for the first time on Friday. So
Well, this is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
So but here's the thing. There's no reason for you to still not get this probation, but I don't have a choice now but to get this pre-sentence report done. So I'm going to, hang on, I'm going to revoke your bond in your case at this time. You're going to go with the bailiff. Probation's going to come to the jail. They're going to do this pre-sentence report, probably not today.
do I get the new bond today?
I'm not giving you a bond because you couldn't act right while you were on bond, which shows me that you see where I'm.
Yeah,
the problem.
can we just like revoke the deal and take it to trial? I can't afford to go to jail, please.
You're going to jail regardless. Why?
Yeah,
Because, do you want me to read the memo?
the whole thing. Yeah, can we play the voice recordings of the phone call in here today too, if that's the case? Because if you're just gonna believe what she says, then I believe I have the right to fight on behalf of what I have to say. And we need to be able to play those phone records.
You're gonna go do that. You're gonna go do that
Of
pre-sentence
course, we're not gonna play
report,
phone records today.
and you're gonna go and hopefully be respectful and hopefully get this probation and not ruin your life over this. This is very.
How long do you think I'll be in
It's
there?
a very temporary situation. Mr. Rojas can come back and talk to you. I'm revoking your bond at this time. I find it's in the best interest until sentencing that there not be a bond. You can go back with the bailiff.
He pulls a gun on a 14-year-old kid and steals not only that kid's dirt bike, but also a small amount of cash from that 14-year-old. The PSI indicates that 14-year-old is so traumatized by this that he can't even attend public school anymore, Judge. When he was apprehended with that stolen dirt bike, there was a vehicle associated with this defendant. And in that vehicle were other subjects who had 4 firearms in that vehicle, Judge. And as if that was not bad enough, he goes on to brag about this criminal activity on social media. And if that wasn't bad enough, Judge, he goes on to taunt the victim of the UUMV on social media as well. Judge, he is youthful. I'll acknowledge that. He does not have any adult criminal history, Your Honor. I will acknowledge that. But, Your Honor, what he has engaged in is beyond the pale. He needs prison time, in my opinion, Your Honor. And that's what we're asking this court to do. If somehow, in any way, shape, or form, the court's considering community supervision, we'd ask for shock probation, some prison time up front, and then shock him out on community supervision. Judge, again, this is just beyond the pale. And I think the PSI speaks for itself. Thanks, Judge.
Mr. Chopin, these cases for me with kids your age are so hard. And I have for a very long time tried very hard to give chances. But all of the guns and the riding around and so you're January 2019, you're put on January of 2019, you are put on probation, juvenile probation. You violated it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On your 7th time to violate, they finally sent you to TJJD, right? 7 times you were given an opportunity. You go to TJJD, obviously you're not there very long because you get out, and then in December of 2022, you commit an unlawful carrying a weapon, evading arrest or detention, and you're again put on probation. You're given another opportunity in January of 2023. So in this year, you were put on probation for a gun case and an evading case. While you're on that probation, after you've been to TJJD, you commit these 3 offenses while you're on probation. So none of it makes sense that I want to do better. And I mean, all this riding around with guns and masks and stealing, and it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Go to see in the jury box. I gotta think about this one some more for a minute. So what I've done, in addition to obviously just thinking about it and looking at all of this a little bit more, is ask and get any incident reports that you've had since you've been in custody. And Mr. Chopin, I appreciate Mr. Lewis and what he's done and the arguments he's made for you. And like I said before, it really kills me to what I feel like I have to do to you young people. But we are in Jefferson County tired of young people running around here with guns. You put a gun to somebody's head. We're lucky you haven't killed somebody because that's the path you're on. You've had opportunities at probation And unfortunately, those haven't worked. You've actually already had 2. You were sent to TJJD, you got out, you still committed offenses, and then you got probation again, and then you're here. So all this talk of I want to do right and I'm going to do better is just a bunch of baloney. The way you can't follow the rules in jail shows me same pattern. You can't follow the rules. So at this time, in cause number 23 DCCR 0993, I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of unauthorized use of a vehicle. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 2 years in the state jail prison. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. In cause number, and these were all just open. So in cause number 23, DCCR 0991, I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 10 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. In cause number 23, DCCR 0992, I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of aggravated robbery. Sentence you to a term of 25 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I am making an affirmative weapon, finding of a deadly weapon. These cases will run concurrently, which means together at the same time. So I am denying the state's motion to accumulate, which is a gift to you. I am going to grant the state's motion to forfeit the weapon, which is a Taurus Millennium G2 pistol bearing serial number TIP 10158. I'm going to hand you, I need there should be an admonishment showing that I signed it. It wasn't a plea agreement, but I don't see one printed out. Mr. Chopin, I take no pleasure in giving out a sentence like this, but I feel like what I have to do is protect Jefferson County from people like you, who have continued to show that you're just a danger and becoming more and more of a danger instead of learning from the opportunities that you've been given. You will be handed in just a minute a trial court certification in each of your cases that shows these weren't agreements, so you do have rights to appeal, and you can talk to Mr. Lewis about that. I hope you take advantage of any programs. You're still young. You're going to get out of prison and you're going to be young still and have a lot of your life ahead of you. I hope what you do while you're in prison is do what you're saying you really want to do, is get your life together. There's programs you can get out. You can have education when you get out. They offer that, and hopefully be a productive member of society instead of going down the wrong path that you've been going. All right, good luck to you. You can go back with the bailiff. We'll get those forms printed out. Hayden Fontanet, Mr. Rojas, it's a sentencing. Good morning. Are you Caden
Yes.
Fontanet? And this is 25 DCCR 1759. Mr. Fontanet was previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to the first-degree felony offense of aggravated robbery. It was an unagreed plea. I've received the pre-sentence report. Have you both had an opportunity to review that report?
We have, Your Honor. The state has, Judge.
Are there any additions or corrections to the report?
Not from the defense, not from the state, Judge.
And Mr. Coleman, you said you have a witness or some evidence?
Actually, Judge, Mr. Rojas has graciously stipulated to the admission of the surveillance video from the convenience store in question. So
Okay.
I don't need to call my custodian record. With the court's permission, first of all, I'm offering states one. No, Judge.
Make that states two, because this one was the plea admonishment documentation, please.
I'm offering states two. No objection.
States two is admitted.
Permission to publish, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I think that's all I wish to publish unless the court wants to see the entirety of the video.
But I think that's enough. Any other evidence or witnesses?
So Judge, just brief argument if I may.
Any other evidence or witnesses for Mr. Rojas?
No, Your Honor, just like.
Mr. Rojas, you may make argument first.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Judge. And obviously, after seeing that video, it makes what we're asking for harder to do. What we're here asking for this morning, Judge, is probation. Mr. Fontanet, he is a young offender. I know the court is tired of hearing the same story over and over, young guys with guns in here. He's got a limited criminal history. I believe this is his first felony. He's never been on any kind of felony supervision or felony probation. Unfortunately, he's just fallen into the same situation that we see so many other youthful offenders fall into. He's got no direction in life. He's very little support at home. Sees no way out of the situation that he's in, so he goes and decides to rob a store and get some money. Did the wrong thing. And if his story in the PSI is to be believable for what I believe is the right reason, he's trying to help his mom out at home, trying to pay some bills, keep the lights on. Certainly, there are better ways to go about doing that. And I hope that the time in jail has taught Mr. Fontenot that. We've got options here, Judge. We can send him to prison or we can put him on probation. Certainly, he's on the road if this conduct continues, he's on the road with prison. I don't know that the day is the best time to make that exit for him. He's got a long life to live. We can send him to prison. He can be there for a few years and come back out. I don't know that he's going to get the help that he really needs in prison. There are programs available on probation that if he's serious about turning his life around, like he says in the PSI, those programs can help him. And if he does take advantage of those, it in turn would make the community a little bit safer. Because there'd be one less guy running around with a gun when he does get out of prison, if that were the road that you chose to take. Plan on living at home with his mom. I think he has some younger siblings there. To his benefit, before he was even arrested, he started a GED. I think on the night that this happened, he had just finished a GED class and made a dumb decision to go hang out with these guys that he should not have been hanging out with, and did this robbery. Again, Judge, you've got two options. You can send him to prison or you can try to get him some help on probation, and hopefully he will take advantage of that. And certainly if he doesn't, we're going to know pretty quick, and you'll have another chance to send him to prison probably for a longer time.
All right, thank you. What is the status of the other two? Are there co-defendants? Have they been charged?
They have been charged, Judge, and I have both of their cases, Judge.
And they have not been sentenced yet or
No,
anything
Judge.
like that?
No,
Okay.
Judge.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Coleman.
Yeah, I'll be brief. Whether it's the Pine Club Apartments or Rogers Park or a Speedy Mart, you've seen this, and we've seen this in this community all too often. I'm preaching to the choir, Judge. Prayer vigils and advisory committees, all that stuff's fine, but you, Judge, where the rubber meets the road. You are that person that can protect the community from somebody like this defendant. You are that person that can either let him walk out of this courtroom on probation with a piece of paper with conditions and promises that he won't resort to this kind of violence that you saw on that video, or you can ensure that the community is safe by putting him behind steel bars, concrete wall, and razor wire fence. I'm just asking, I'm not in the habit of begging, but on behalf of this community, I'm begging that you send this defendant to prison. The message that needs to be sent to this defendant and his circle of friends and anybody who would want to be like this defendant is that if you pick up a gun with the intent to commit violence, you're going to pick up a 15, 20, 25-year prison sentence, Judge. And I'm just asking that you do this on behalf of people who live at the Pine Club Apartments, who just want to live in peace, people who want to go take a walk at Rogers Park and not be robbed, and somebody that wants to stop at a Speedy Mart convenience store and pick up some snacks without becoming a victim of a robbery. That's all I have, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. So, Mr. Fontenot, there was a time some years ago that there really wasn't even a question. State's attorneys were recommending youthful offenders, probation, let's give everybody an opportunity. And things have just changed in such an incredibly dangerous way with young people doing what I just saw you do on that screen. I cannot imagine the fear that person had that was working in that store, that he now has just trying to go to work, make a living, and go home. And he has 3 people come in and not just grab a little quick something and run out, but terrorize him for quite some time. Pulling him around, yanking him around, putting guns in his face, all 3 of you. I also, in addition to the PSI, get jail incident reports. And you apparently like to fight and jump people, which is what's been happening in the jail. So it makes it very difficult for me to go, oh, this is somebody that's going to get out and behave, who can follow the rules, because you can't even follow the rules in jail. And the pre-sentence report shows that you're a high risk level, which tells me that after they've looked at everything, that you don't have, unfortunately, a good likelihood of being successful if I were to put you on probation. And Mr. Coleman's right. We're tired of it. And there's got to be something done. So in cause number 25, DCCR 1759, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. And at this time, I'm going to find you guilty of aggravated robbery. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 25 years in the institutional division. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 25 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I'm handing you the trial court certification. This was not an agreement. You have some rights to appeal. I have also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. You can talk to Mr. Rojas about any questions you have about that. I am making an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. Mr. Fontenette, I understand that this is harsh, and I know you believe this is harsh, but I think this is necessary. I hope that you go and you make things right. You can get out of prison. You're still going to be young, and you can make your life better. That's going to be up to you, okay?